only. We kind of get away from Facebook. We might get a little bit more loose. We add people in here. We had Jay Tuck a couple of weeks ago from Cowboys Fans Only. Tonight we got the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, Big Game. James is in the building. What's going on, brother?
Hey man, you made me feel good with that opening, dog. Like I'm gonna make sure I rewind that right there. That felt
clip
good.
that. Go and clip that. Go and clip that. Go and clip that. But as you can see, for those that are tuning in right now, as we're getting the chairs up and everything, we didn't have no time to really schedule it out and have the people waiting on us. We're getting some chairs up. But you see on the bottom of the screen, y'all know why we're here. We finally filled that void at right defensive end. You know, we lost Quinn. We couldn't do nothing. And things happened. Jerry showed up today. Oh, Jerry Poppins, if you will. And boom, Everson Griffen signed. I mean, you know, I mean, Steven said he was going to add a couple pieces, and then nothing got added. And I know Spoonie for sure in our back and forth was not very happy, which understandable. And then, you know, kind of, you know, at the end of the day, right, pretty much how they kind of moved this whole offseason just out of nowhere, maybe a little later in the afternoon, you know, right. Boom. And then, oh, hey, you got him. Here's a guy to add that piece in there. James, off the top, your thoughts? I mean, everyone's kind of heard us. It's going to be over here. But go ahead and give you your space here, man. Go right ahead, man. Tell the people how you feel.
Hey man, I made my live. I was screaming, going hollering, jumping off and doing. If I could do cartwheels in the crib, I would have. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing that excites me is, like I said, I feel like the Cowboys are finally meaning business. Championship teams do these type of things. If you're in a championship team, you just sit on your ass and you just say, okay, well, we'll just think about it. And we happy with what we got and we can make it. No, a championship team is never satisfied. They are always. And so many times we hear Stephen Jones them saying we're always on the look, but we don't be seeing that. We don't see it as fans. We don't see it as media, and it gets us frustrated. So now, to me, we see a changing of the guard. We saw it when Mike McCarthy came in. That was the main man I wanted, and we just seen it trickle down with the people he brought in on his staff, a veteran staff, and a staff that was like, you know what, this isn't a time, this isn't a developmental time, this is a win now team, and we're gonna put the right coaches into place to go ahead and win now. And when I seen, I mean, for real, if I seen a Jason Garrett here, number one, I don't think I see a George Edwards as a coach. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't see him talking to Everson Griffen because he known him. And one last thing on that is I had made a video about Everson Griffen about maybe the reason why the Cowboys hadn't touched him, because he had some documented alcoholism issues, and a lot of people and a lot of teams were kind of shying away because of that. So now you see the COVID kind of kept everybody away, so you couldn't have a personal meeting with that player to see what's really going on with them. So now, right when free agency, right when the training camp is about to start, you don't know what's going on with Randy Gregory. I don't think it's a coincidence. You hear all this stuff, Randy Gregory talking back and forth, and then now his thing is in doubt, and then boom, out of nowhere, the influence of Mike McCarthy says, hey, you know Edwards, you know him. Is he good? Yeah, he good. We need to make this move. We don't know about Gregory. The time is now. We ain't got time to wait. Boom, let's go ahead. How much we talking? Yeah, let's go ahead and make it. That's what championship teams do.
Yeah, and of course, you know, the very beginning of it, you know, one of the things we talked about off top on the last show was, hey, I was sure it was going to be a one-year deal, kind of how this thing was going to work. And man, hey, shout out to the one-year deal, $3 million base, $3 million roster bonus, not going to kill you, not going to also affect your comp picks that you're going to get for Quinn and Byron Jones next year. It's one of those deals that just makes sense out there that the Vikings and Seattle was kind of back and forth jockeying for position. The Cowboys kind of went like a little quiet assassin and said, no, come here. You know, come here and come on down here. And back to this, and as we saw Shabazz kind of point out a minute ago about we would never done this in Garrett there. I mean, let's be clear. And this is the biggest thing I've said this whole offseason. We went from bargain shopping to just paying bargain prices for good players. Mm-hmm. You know, forget just the Everson Griffen, what we got him for. Look how long we ignored the defensive tackle position, guys, right? I mean, you're not bringing in McCoy or a Poe. Eric's not doing that. Garrett's not doing that. He's not bringing in those kind of guys. Alden Smith, I get it, 5 years away. But if Alden Smith's anywhere around the 70% of what he was before he left, you kind of do those kind of things, right? And it's plugging the obvious positions of need that we always talked about in the Garrett era never seemed to kind of happen. And we're seeing that early on with McCarthy saying, okay, here is a need. We need to fix it by any means necessary. And they're doing it with quality players, not just the Pias, the Stephen Pias of the world. Oh, we need a defensive tackle.
Nick
Let's go get
Hayden's.
Stephen Pia. Who's on somebody's practice? Yeah, Nick Hayden's. Who we getting that's, on somebody's practice squad? We can just swag over here real quick. Like he's spending, I get it, 1 year to 2 year gap stops, but you drafted the Gallimore. We got to see what Tristan Hill does there, but you're adding those pieces. Look, we know we got the Bradley Anays of the world, right? Okay, cool. Give him that time, and now you got Everson Griffin to take that pressure off over there and do things. I'm ecstatic about it. It's a change of philosophy. Even just not hearing Mike McCarthy speak, but you can tell it permeates throughout how they've handled not just the draft, but free agency, even up to 2 days away from the first camp practice, and you see the change in the philosophy of in the building what the coaching staff has brought. Spoony, go ahead, Spoon. I know how happy you are.
Listen, I'm truly excited. Listen, I want to make a public apology to Stephen Jones because I was his worst enemy. I seriously was. I still got a little doubt with some of the things that he's negotiating with Dak Prescott, but I love this move. This is a move that was needed. Again, comparing what the Cowboy Nation have seen this season, this off season, compared to other times, this is the best. There's no way at all how we shouldn't feel like something special could come out of all of this because, I know for years under the Garrett era, we hear about the right kind of guys, pretty much was Garrett guys. And see, this is a time where I like the right kind of guys where we adding players who play the game. We adding guys who have attitudes, guys who want to get after the quarterback, guys who want to play ball. It's not like a personal thing where I don't like your attitude. I don't like how you answer it. No. You're a ball player. I'm going to sign you. Aldon Smith, Everson Griffin tonight. We know we're going to get Randy W back soon, hopefully very soon.
Right.
And at the end of the day, forget about they off the field stuff. They're human. We all human beings. At the end of the day, you're ball players. That's what brings home championships. And to put it in that defense, Everson Griffin tonight, I mean, my God, you're talking about former first round picks. How many is that? 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 for sure. And you're adding, all pro or Pro Bowl guys that have done it in the league before and showed it.
It's you.
And of course, the big thing is, and I kind of go back to what Mike McCarthy said early on in a couple of his earlier press conferences, was he wanted all the pass rushers. He wants all. He's like, we're going to score points. And if you're going to score points, what do you have to do? I mean, you got to be able to go pin them ears,
Right.
go get the quarterback. And once again, it's back to he has a plan. And over the past 3 or 4 months, to me, we're seeing it being executed, which is refreshing and nice to see. I know for us, we got some questions about this big game, and I want to ask you as well and let you get your thoughts on it. Is Greg, I don't think this is the end of it at all. I think this is just adding to the pot of the actual rotation that they can do. Do you think this is the end of Gregory, or do you think he's still got a place here on this roster moving forward?
I mean, he's still going to have a place on this roster because Jerry Jones loved some Randy Gregory. You know what I'm saying? If he'd been on there for 5 damn years, what's the reason to cut him now? He ain't costing nothing. That's the biggest thing. He ain't costing nothing for you to be on the roster. So why would you get rid of that talent? You can sit there and say you can deal with the back and forth, because if he was costing money, no, they wouldn't be dealing with this any longer. But this ain't costing them. He still has elite talent, even as his age right now. It's not like he's a young pup any longer, but he's still a young pup as far as athletically being on the field, and he still has that damn bend. So you saw what he did just a couple of years ago. So you ain't gonna do that. So now it makes you feel better because now you got Everson Griffin. Here's the thing. Now Tyrone Crawford, you don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Tyrone Crawford, you don't bother me so much right now. You feel me? You don't bother me so much right now, Tyrone Crawford. It was just like when Brandon Corey was with the team, he was making $10 million. He was bothering me. But when he went down to $5 million, he ain't bothering me so much. You know what I'm saying? He ain't bothering me. But see, now Tyrone Crawford, it wasn't like I was a hater of him, but I just know what you bring to the table at right end. Well, I know Everson Griffin better than you. So now we can mix and match you all you want, and I feel good with you. And you still got a Dorrance Armstrong Jr., you know what I'm saying? And you got the Aldon Smith. Now we talking, and like you said, you got a Poe, you got a McCoy, you got Antoine Woods, who just re-signed, great as a backup. You got Gallimore. who
Damn,
is
boy.
look like an animal, but he can still learn. Tristan Hill. That's what we were talking about more than anything else is the depth. You still got D Law, Jackson, Joe Jackson. I still like Joe Jackson. You feel me? But the good thing about it is we got depth, and that's what you want to have because at the end of the day, NFL has injuries, and what you want to have if somebody gets hurt, that second player that comes right behind him, he's almost as good as that first. So your team doesn't fall off, and you keep running, and that's what I like the philosophy, and it looks like that's really being played. And you got good coaching to go with it. You just don't got the talent because Dallas has had the talent, but it's the coaching that's trying to get us over the hump. Now we got somebody who's been there and done that, and I look like it means business finally. And now I can finally maybe stick out my chest a little bit to some of these haters out here. My language. You be talking all that trash about my squad and stuff. Now when I'll be like, okay, well, I got McCarthy as a coach, then you're going to might be a little bit more quiet now. You maybe won't talk as loud because we bringing the fire.
Yeah, absolutely. You know the crazy thing about this, I was catching up on in between shows here. So Griffin had signed a 58-year. He had a $58 million deal and had 3 years left. He was set to make $43 million in cash from 2020 to 2022. He could opt out if he got 6.5 sacks and played 50% or 57% of the snaps in 2019. He did both. He opted out on February 20th. COVID happens, and then he lands in Dallas for 1 year, $6 million. Boy, you love this. I mean, I hate it for him. I hate for the player to lose the money, but you know, yeah, that super hurts. I mean, great win for the Cowboys, but man, he left $43 million on the table.
That hurts. And he's 32.
Tough stuff, man. Oh, Does Beer Gang's in the building. What's going on, man? Quest for Six as always. You know, we're always about it and on it. You know, the other thing too, and I was trying to think about this, you know, in a snap reaction going just from the starters, right? If we're going D-Law, McCoy, Poe, and then Everson Griffin. You know, I was like, man, when's the last time in a four-man front we had something that good at every position? You know, I was like, I mean, I can kind of think back to the, you know, the D-Ware and Spencer on the ends with Ratliff in the middle, and then the Nick Haydens of the world or whoever. Man, I really can't think of the last time. I mean, we played a lot of 3-4, obviously, once Parcells got here and things happened before we got to the Marinelli system. It's definitely the best one I can think of since Marinelli took over. I was trying to think of the best four, you know, on paper.
I mean,
got to see it happen.
Think about like 07, 08, because I was just watching Dallas Pittsburgh in 08, and I know they ran that 3-4, but we had Ratliff, we had Spencer, Ware, Canty was still on the team.
Canty was nice.
Kevin Burnett, Brady James.
Ellis was on the other end too, right? On the outside of that 3-4, right? Greg Ellis. It was Greg Ellis.
Yeah, Greg Ellis was there. Yeah, and Greg Ellis played good under that. You know what I'm saying? He had his best years under that 3-4 for real. So we had talent on that defense. I would say that's the closest because that was a lot of talent on that defense.
Right. My whole thing with the 3-4, you gotta have more than one pass rusher. Not only that, the way this roster is looking like we got pass rushers on the bench. So when a starter wants to take a break, you're not missing a beat. You know, and that's teams that won championships like that with rotational pass rushers. Guys will just keep going, and that's the main thing. No more we rely on one individual like DeMarcus Ware to go make a play. Now we got multiple guys. If I'm D-Law is the happiest man on the planet because opposite side of me, I got nothing but guys around me who could, you know, do the damage. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be the best thing about this front seven. Starting with the front four. This was obviously a big signing.
Right. No, it was, you know, and of course it gives the Bradley Nays and Doris Armstrong time to really cut their teeth. And, you know, the other guys should be very happy with these D tackles that they've reinvested in, the old fatties, as we call them linebackers, man, Jalen Smith and LVE be able to stay clean and be able to run, you know, sideline to sideline and make those moves. Again, another thing. And of course, another trinket into that, as we've heard about Jalen Smith coming maybe forward more, right. And being on that blitz take with these other guys with the Griffins that were adding to come get the quarterback. I mean, it just makes, and we know we got a defensive coordinator that likes to blitz about 40% of the time. Man, it's just another blade in that defense now to go get that quarterback. As long as we're running the scorched earth offense and scoring them 30 30 to 40, the 40 burgers that we talk about a lot, with CeeDee Lamb being added to this thing and going nuclear on offense, you load up on those guys, Now, we can still dream, though, right? We can still dream a little bit because he did say 2 pieces. We can still dream. I'm a little nervous for me personally at the linebacker depth a little bit. I've kind of pounded the table for bringing back Smith, who played for us last year some. Also, I would like to see maybe an Alec Ogletree. He could come in. I wouldn't be mad at that. But that Logan Ryan teases me a little bit. He's played a lot of safety in the league. He's put the word out there. He kind of wants to play safety. He's 29. Man, if you add the Logan Ryan in, whoo, after the Griffin signing, man, because for me personally, I like to see Cheeto stay at corner. I've kind of pounded the table on that. I kind of want Cheeto to stay at corner. I know that's kind of the influx where he might move to safety. But Yates, big game, James. What do you see? You want to, if you can add one more piece?
I'm feeling you, dog. Like I said, championship teams stay aggressive. Whether it's on the field, off the field, in the off season, you stay aggressive at all times. That's what wins championships, dog. So if Logan Ryan, you want to play some safety and he's still out there, put that man to a 1-year deal and let's stop playing around and get him on the damn field. Because there ain't no reason why you wouldn't. You get what I'm saying? Like, There's no why wouldn't you? It's not gonna hurt your cap. You can figure it out. This ain't destroying the cap. This is not gonna put nobody in no cap hell. And this is a year that, this is a weird year. So yeah, I've already had people come at me, if y'all win to be an asterisk. I don't give a hell if it's an asterisk or not. If that Joker, we get 6 on that Joker, you can asterisk all the hell you want to. I'm gonna put 6 in your face, and that's all you're gonna need to know. So at the end of the day, if Logan Ryan's out there and available and they want to talk to him, let's go get him. What's the reason to play around? Because look at a lot of this. Look at the whole secondary. The whole damn secondary is on 1-year deals. For real. So everybody's playing for a job. And when everybody's playing for a job, people play better because the competition, because everybody's playing for contracts. And when people playing for contracts, you get the best out of them. And damn near everybody is on 1-year deals. So we're going to get the best out of this defense because people want to get paid.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron, and boy, that money ain't nothing. I mean, just to look at, just think about this, right? Forget the coaching staff, and all of us have kind of broken down different avenues of what this coaching staff and who they've added and built, right? But you added, you re-signed Cooper, you got Griffin, you got McCoy, you got Poe, not even talking about that we had. Again, back to the point that we're all kind of talking here is, man, they are pounding the right. There's a gap, there's a hole, and let's not just fill it with a body. Let's fill it with a body that can contribute and make this thing better. It's just, man, it's crazy. I need to get that shirt that says I survived the Garrett era. It's so fucking refreshing. Yeah. It's like, it makes sense. And it's crazy to think because Garrett's such a attention to detail guy that we be told, but none of this kind of stuff ever happened. It's asinine, and it's like, this is what it feels like to have a properly ran NFL team all of a sudden. It's a breath of fresh air.
Right.
Hey.
Look, he said 2. We added 1. If you can add 1 more.
Hey, listen, I'm going with Logan Ryan. My thing was, I'm one of the big, I know what Tuck, besides Tuck, Jay Tuck, I've been one of the biggest fans of trying to get hashtag Route 33 in here for the New York Jets, and that didn't happen. He went with Seattle. I've always felt the safety is a position that we need to address. We haven't addressed that pretty much since maybe after Davin Wilson and Roy Williams. And I remember I put up a video of all the safeties after that. Omar Stoudemire, the Wilcox, stuff. Barry Trist might have been the most decent one after that.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Yeah. So it's been a position that we needed to address. I like Cheeto to play safety. This is Colorado. But like I said, if you get a Logan Ryan in here, that could leave Cheeto right there at corner. So it'd be him, Clinton Dix, along with Cheeto, Anthony Brown. I'm assuming make start, and you could put Jordan Lewis as a nickelback. But eventually, listen, our guy Diggs will eventually take over Brown's spot at the number 2 corner. But getting a guy like Logan Ryan would definitely keep the secondary flexible in things that the coaching staff want them to do. I mean, listen, guys, the coaching staff, that we got this offseason after McCarthy, the guys that he put in place to run the position on this team, that's even crazy. I mean, we there's nothing but excitement going on for this Cowboys football.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, Al Harris for me.
Yeah, I mean,
you tweeted that, BJ, like we on that Al Harris shit had me just when I seen that I was like, okay, now there we go, aggressive.
You're putting guys, coaches that know how to coach. You're not putting your friends, your best friend, or buddy yours in college. You're putting guys in here who know how to get these guys going. Listen, when you got an Aldon Smith, what did you get? You got a Tomasulo. I'm big on Tomasulo. Tomasulo was Aldon Smith's coach with the 49ers. Yeah. And again, even though Aldon's been out for 5 years, if you got a 70%, 8% of Aldon Smith, you're getting that dude. And again, I'm too excited, y'all. It's just I'm too excited.
Hey, and it's
because
a great time to be
excited. You know what it is? Because we getting excited because we know we're used to. We know what we're used to seeing. We know what we've seen our defense dominate. We know what it feels like to dominate teams. We know what it's like to win Super Bowls. So that's why the excitement start getting excited because you know what it's like. And everybody knows that once them Cowboys is on fire, once them Cowboys get right on offense, defense, everybody watching it for real. You watching them games, you watching when we come in them Blues. And if that defense, that front four is on point, coming at you, getting sacks and turnovers, oh my God, dog. It's I'm getting chills right now because it's just a beautiful thing. It'll be on every TV. Everybody be watching. Everybody be like, them Cowboys is back. How about them Cowboys? Everybody gonna be saying it. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Jaws 47 finally gonna get loose, dog. You still got Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. Oh my God, Fool's in trouble, dog. Like and we got a coach like. Just like y'all said, the staff that he brought in, Tom Sula, I mean, even Philbin on the offensive line, like it's things, those little things like that. Them guys have been in the league 20 years, and they got camaraderie because they've already been together. That's one of the things I liked about McCarthy is that he brought damn near the whole staff that he already used to mess with. You know what I mean? So that's a great thing too, because it's not like I got to get to know you for the next year because I don't know anything about you. We all been coaching together. So now we got one mind to get this championship, and the time is now.
Yeah, and as Chop just checked in and said they're going for it this year. Hashtag Chopper style. I hear you, Chop.
Chopper. I love it, Chopper style. Ain't no time to wait no more. You feel me, y'all?
No time to wait.
Ain't no time to wait no more. We ain't waiting for 2021.
You got to push it. You got to push the chips in at a certain point, and they're doing it in a smart way. They're not doing it in a way that's going to kill the cap or you can't make moves. Like, hey, we can fill these positions and look good, and we know what this offense is going to be or what we believe it's going to be based off of last year and what we added to it. And now here you go, getting these guys to go get that quarterback. It's just, again, we keep saying the word's refreshing for in general. And the coach that they brought in here, my God, the special teams can only get better. They can't get worse. I mean, Jesus Christ.
And you got a monster as a coach who you brought in.
Another one, Old Bones and Fossil, which I kind of thought Tavon Austin might have ended back up on this team to be the kick return specialist. Looks like it's not going to happen. He's out there visiting San Francisco right now, actually. So looks like that's not going to happen. But let's talk about that one real quick because I think for me, just let Pollard do it. The more ways I can get Pollard the ball, I'm good. I mean, he did the kick returns last year. Let's see who's got a punt return. I'm okay in special situations letting CeeDee Lamb get the punt, but not all the time. Mm-hmm. What do y'all think about that?
I mean, Spoonie, you got to feel that. Like, I don't want Tony Pollard on punt returns, but I'm definitely want him on kick returns. But it's so hard to return kicks nowadays. But, hey, man, put CeeDee Lamb back in that damn punt return every damn time. I don't care. I've seen plenty. Well, I mean, come on, dog. We seen Antonio Brown. We seen top guys when they're rookie years take punts, and they were electric, and they lasted all year. He's just that dude. Let him get the ball as much as he can because he may not see it all the time with all the other weapons we got. That's just one more way to get that young rook the ball.
Yep. Spoon?
Hey, listen, I wasn't a fan of it in the beginning, but now I'm hyped to it. You know, I go back and think of Des Bryant's first punt return for a touchdown with the Chicago Bears. And listen, he's another 88 right here. And we all know CeeDee Lamb, they had to adjust to him getting the ball in Oklahoma because we all know the quarterback wasn't a real quarterback. He's learning how to play quarterback in Jalen Hurts, right? But so they had different ways to get him the ball. Now, I tell you this right now, and I've always said this. If you had a real pro-style quarterback in that offense, CeeDee Lamb would have been a top 3 pick because he would have did more damage. They had to find ways to get him open, to give him the football. Was punt return, whether it's a trick replays, whatever. And guess what? He did it. So my thing is this: if you're great at doing that, without just being a regular receiver, put the best out there. Put the best out there in every situation to score points. I recall last year, and I fellas, I don't mean to bring up old bad memories.
Here we go.
No, we had issue with special teams in Minnesota with Tavon Austin because the coaching staff didn't know what to do. So that kind of reminds me, you know what? Put the best one out there and let him do the damage and go out there and get us. That's all we need.
You can't play scared. You got to attack at every level.
Whenever you play scared, you get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So you can't go out there worrying about I know CeeDee Lamb, our first one, won't worry about him getting hurt. Let him play because usually when you play reckless, y'all should know we all play sport. When you're out there playing reckless and you ain't worried about injury, you don't get hurt. When you're out there thinking about them type of things, that's when they come. That's just when they come.
When you don't play 100, if you ain't going 100 tilt, that's when you get hurt.
That's when it comes quick too.
ASAP.
And it usually be them bad injuries.
Now let me ask you this one. Since the Jamal Adams things came and went, I've been wanting to ask you this question. I'm glad I got you here, James. Would you giving up the package for Jamal Adams? Settle this for me and Spoon.
I mean, the only thing that would have stopped me was that giving up the player, but man, get Jamal Adams, dog. That wouldn't have killed you. Like, I understand the first pick, 2 first-round picks, but all I got to say is this. Them first-round picks ain't guaranteed, dog. So I don't know why jump and do backflips over these first. I get it. They first-round picks. But as much as they could be successful, as much as they can be a bust. So you got somebody who is young, fierce, monster, can do anything you want. And when you got a dominating safety, and we've seen it, it changes the whole complexity of your defense. So I'd have went after it.
I couldn't do the player.
That's the only thing. I wouldn't have gave up the player because they would have probably been super good. But I gave up them 2 first and that third. Yeah, bye.
I would have given any player that's on a 1-year deal that we have no plans on signing. What's the point? My whole thing is this, and not to go for more, but I'll say this. You went 2 times for a safety last year when it became available. You went for Minka with Taco in a 2nd-round pick. That didn't work out. You went for Jamal Adams. That tells you that you wanted a safety. You didn't like what you had back there. You wasn't comfortable. So now, my whole thing is this. When it comes to first-round pick, they're all crapshoots. All picks are crapshoots. But when you got a good guy in Willie McClay, you trust that man that he'll find you a gem to replace that first-round miss. My thing is this. It's been 20-something years. I know you guys don't want me to bring out them old McDonald videos to the last time you won a championship. It's been kind of too long. I'm 40. I just turned 40. God bless. I was in high school. We didn't have no cell phones. We had beepers. Did we have beepers? I don't know. I got my phone.
We had beepers. We had beepers back then.
We just transitioned from black and white to color at the time we was winning championships. You know what I'm saying? It's been kind of too long. I know we could put up old videos when we won championships. Like, damn, we was that young? We were the little rascal practically. So my thing is this. When it comes to getting that trophy, that sixth trophy, as I watched through the years of teams have gone by, and I'm like, wait a minute. I keep hearing that we are the most talented roster in the NFL, but we go 8, 5, 11, 3, and 13. I ain't tired. I ain't scorned. If that guy's guaranteeing me a dominant defense, well, you go out for that guy. You go out for that guy. At the end of the day, I'm tired of waiting for a first-round pick to develop.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have got CeeDee Lamb. Be clear.
I mean,
you want to go to see
We all know that
advocate.
was, but we all know that's how the draft fell.
It is.
Nobody
It is.
thought that was happening. Nobody thought that was happening.
Next year,
But I was
and
pounding the
not
table
next
from February for it, though. Big pounds. I
Yeah,
got
for
the
sure. For sure.
Don't get me
I
wrong.
mean,
I'm happy now.
I'm willing to take my chance when my team. See, here's my thing. If my team is a very young team and I'm rebuilding, I'm not going to do that because I know I need them picks. But my team is established and ready to win now. I need a piece to get over the hump to get a championship. I just got a coach that I feel like can get me there. I'm pulling this trigger because, like Scooney said, if I got Will McClay, he can find them guys later on, or the free agents, or the undrafted. He's been good at that. The track record's been pretty good with it. So I'll take my chances with that. But I need somebody that's going to come in and win now.
Yeah. And listen.
And of course, and that was my thing. And that was my thing with Spoonie during the saga. I was like, at a certain point, you do have to push your chips all the way in. At a certain point, with a talented roster, you do have to push the chips all the way to the middle. And saying, okay, this is where it is. You know, we heard Mike McCarthy, I ain't trying to win one, I'm trying to win them all. And we kind of looked at everything that was happening, right? And it's like, well, you got a chance to go get this guy. And look, he's already kind of on record saying, hey, you ain't got to pay me this year. I do wonder if they get the Dak deal done, would they have maybe been more inclined to get the Jamal Adams deal done? But that's, I
think probably so, but they still pissing me off of that. And Spoonie, you said you gonna forgive Stephen Jones. I ain't forgiving him right now. I'm still mad. He ain't getting no pass from me right now. He ain't getting no damn pass from me. Okay, you went out and got Griffin, just like you said, BJ. Y'all slick and went and got Griffin to try to ease the pain, but you ain't off the hook, dog, with this Dak Prescott. You ain't gonna use these lame ass excuses of COVID and all that. I don't want to hear it.
He's the pain. That's my Lisa Fisher, right?
He try to be slick.
Yeah, I can hear the song right now.
Yeah, he think he's slick.
Nah, you know what? But that was a tough thing with Dak Prescott. My thing is that with his press conference thing today, and again, when it comes to Dak, he's a leader. He just don't talk. He means what he says. That's what he does. But I love the fact how he came out and said he wants to be Cowboys for life. Hopefully the deal does work out. And I'm talking about right after whatever happens during the season or maybe a Super Bowl or how far we go. Regardless what happens after that, I want to see breaking news.
Get the deal done.
For this amount of money deal. And that's just it. Right. He's there for life. I mean, listen, this team is stacked right now.
But see, here's my question to you. Here's my question I want to pose to both of y'all, and this is what I was thinking about. If you got Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones saying, okay, well, it's the COVID. Jerry was real adamant saying, I'll talk to the NFL people, a lot of people. I'm on the phone with them, and the salary cap is dropping to $175 million, supposed to be $210. And he's saying each year that it's going to be affected by the COVID. So that had a real big issue with getting Dak signed or thinking future years. Well, if you're saying that right now, right, and you got Dak Prescott playing under a Mike McCarthy, I don't think he's going to fall off. It hasn't shown when you've been playing with just a Jason Garrett, you ain't fell off. So I don't see you falling off with all these weapons. So if you go stupid, ridiculous, nutty, and let's say you get to a Super Bowl or something like that, it's going to be crazy. So if you complain about COVID and you can't pay him, how are you going to be able to pay him next year?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and the thing that I said from the jump. Here's the problem with not getting it done. Well, next year the tag is $37.2 million. So that's where you're starting next year. It ain't gonna be cheaper than 37.2. It's gonna be 37.2. That's the bottom. That's the floor. It's gonna go up as long as he performs. And that was like the biggest thing going into this season. I wanted to see Dak do what I saw Matt Ryan do, what I saw Russell Wilson do. From year 3 to 4 is when they really jumped off the page in the passing game, right? And you saw it happen with Dak, right? I mean, if it wasn't for drop passes, he's well over 5,000 yards and more touchdowns, right? With now, back to your point, if you couldn't, you're kind of, and we know, look, to a certain extent, and I don't know how you feel. This is how I feel. The salary cap, to a certain extent, is a myth. If a franchise wants to go get a guy, they have a group of guys in the building. Hey, we need this guy. Go look through these contracts, make it happen. Go do it, right? And that's just kind of, I mean, go look at what the Rams did every single year, right? For the past 2 or 3 years. And all the trades and the signings and the big names and whatever the case. again, they took that risk while they had their guy signed early, right, on the rookie contract deal. The one thing the Cowboys never did underneath Jason Garrett was push the chips in while you had Dak on a rookie deal. Now, some of this kind of got convoluted somewhat because the running back jumped the quarterback a little bit, right? He came a year early. Not that he wasn't due the money. Hey, Zeke to me is a generational running back. Not because I'm a Cowboys fan, just in general. I think he's a generational type running back. He's the most complete running back in the game. Look, you might say you like CMC a little bit more, and that's fine. Or maybe you like Saquon and some of that or whatever. To me, the most complete back in the game right now is Zeke. So I'm not saying he shouldn't have got paid, but it kind of threw everything off a little bit because he jumped ahead, right? Because of the length of the deal, whatever. But again, if they want to sign him, they can sign him. I don't care. They can talk down. And look, to me, that's lip service for the fans. The greatest trick that these owners do for the fans is they get people to side with billionaires over millionaires. And it's wild to me. It's like these guys got to get paid. And I see everyone like, oh, well, Dak's getting X amount of money in endorsements deals. That's because he's the Cowboys quarterback. No, that's not what he did on the field. He's not. That's off the field. Okay, you can say it's a byproduct of the Cowboys. Cowboys need to step in pain though. Period.
I don't trust him.
I don't. Hey, my one thing that I told Snoop early on was this: Mike McCarthy's basically got his way the entire time. I wish I was a fly in that room that night when Mike McCarthy stayed the night, and I'm sure the Johnny Walker Blue Label was flowing, and they were having nachos, and they were talking, right? Look, and Mike McCarthy said all the right things. They were saying all the right things about Dak, but at the end of the day, was it really just Mike McCarthy wanted to work with him for a year before they paid him? Is
That's
that
what
really what this thing boils down to?
Another year where they can feel like, okay, you did it with Garrett, but I want to see you with McCarthy. McCarthy's a proven guy. Let me see one more year. And like I said that in my video. Why wouldn't they do that? It's not out of that. Like, why is that something unbelievable? Like the Cowboys wouldn't do that again. They can lip service all they want to talk about him being the franchise guy. I don't believe in it. I'm not saying I don't believe they believe that, but I hear too much thinking and we think and this and this. I see too many things because I hate bringing up Romo. They make me bring up Romo. That's what pisses me off. I never want to bring him up, but y'all wasn't like that with him. And that's what's I think that's the bothersome thing about this with me with Dak is that Romo sat and learned with a great and came out firing. This man came with a average coach and came out firing. Wasn't even supposed to play. Was sitting behind Kellen Moore, for God's sake. You feel me? And has done exponentially better than everything you possibly could imagine. So there ain't no excuse.
And to add on to that, big game. Another thing also is that he was forced to the lineup. You know, I remember I was there at training camp when Roman was out, and then you had Kellen Moore out. He was forced to get in there and learn. And listen, rookie of the year, 4th round pick, rookie of the year. And my thing, I was with James in the beginning with the part where I felt like next year they wanted me sign Dak Prescott long term because I'm like I remember BJ was the whole time saying they don't franchise quarterbacks like that. I remember I told you Peyton Manning and Vic was franchised the same year. But once Mahomes got signed, okay, he's the best quarterback in the game. He got signed. He got $40 million. This should be easy negotiating now. You didn't even do that. You put it on the last minute. The fax machine wasn't working where nobody could have got signed. That's lies. Now, I will understand if they want to see how he does under McCarthy. I really want to understand. Because last year, Dak Prescott really grown to be that quarterback. No longer people can say that is because of Zeke. Dak's numbers was elite quarterback numbers. Elite. Yeah. Under McCarthy, listen, I'll tell you this right now. He had Brett Favre, he had Aaron Rodgers. I remember a guy named Aaron Brooks from New Orleans Saints came out of nowhere. And that was because of McCarthy. So I know and I trust McCarthy's system, what it can do for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott right now got a 3 times better offense than last year. Wait, this rookie year. Yeah, he's talented. And if you want about contract, this number is going to be even 3 times better this season coming up. You know, God willing that we go through the season the right way.
Right. I mean,
You're gonna have to pay him.
they're going to pay him. I mean, that's the bottom line. I think they'll get it done. I really do. I think they're going to get it done.
I'm gonna say I hope.
I think
I'm with you, Jay. I hope.
I think it's more. I think it's more than they're ever going to let on. That they wanted to see him with McCarthy. I think I believe that's some of that. I
think it's a lot of that.
You know, but they're never going. They're never going to say it, right?
Right.
But I mean, if I know Dak, like we know Dak, we already know what he's about to do. That dude's going to come out here. I mean, watch how he commanded. Look, forget anything else you know about Dak. Just look how he commanded the daggum press conference today. When you just, if you do nothing else, you're like, hey, that guy. I want that guy leading my team. I mean, just flawless victory. Hit your Mortal Kombat fatality, whatever you want to call it. Like he's that guy. He's the guy you want to be the face. He does the right things. He says the right things. He acts the right way. He built a whole damn field and kept it off of social media and worked with players, you know, and does, you know, again, I don't know what more you really want from him other than you got a new coach you want to see. You know, it's easy for us to sit here and say, because it's true, well, if he did it with Garrett, it's not going to be look, watch when McCarthy comes in, what's going to happen, right? And you gave him a CeeDee Lamb, and you gave him an athletic tight end finally. Guys, I'm worried about the left guard some, but that's neither here nor there. Well, maybe we'll talk about that here in a little bit. The other thing that I want to bring up, though, pivot off of Dak for a second because he's our guy at least this year. Mm-hmm. Something I thought about, right? Jerry Jones in the presser today, bring it back to that, said that, hey, we're going to have fans. Now, we know the Eagles said no fans. We know Skin said no fans. I think Green Bay said for the first 2 weeks, and they'll kind of see. Jerry Jones on the front line said, oh, no. We're having fans, right? And they asked him 50%, 75%. He said, well, right now it's 50%. And if it goes up to 75, that'll be 75. Now, he wouldn't put a name, he wouldn't put a number on it, but we're going to have fans. So let me ask you this. If we are going to have fans and all these other teams aren't going to have fans, does that give us maybe a little bit of extra home field advantage during the season, maybe? Maybe a little bit more juice in the building for us at home, having actual fans there? What do y'all think? What do you think it's, A, with the temperament and everything that's going on, is it the right move by Jerry? And B, will that give us maybe an edge for our 8 home games if all these teams don't show up and have fans come in?
Hell yeah, we gonna have an advantage if we got fans, because you know Jerry ain't gonna not have no damn fans. When they first mentioned that, he you see his whole face change. We gonna have fans. I don't care how it work. We go, because he ain't gonna be without that money. I looked like he was about to cry when he was talking about that damn salary cap going down. He said we gonna have fans in that stadium. The governor said 50%. We're gonna have 50. And if he come and call me and say 75, I bet you with a snap of finger it'll be 75. He gonna push that number as far as he can, and that's the truth. He was already explaining, like, oh, you can go one side of the stadium, and you can be on the whole other side of the stadium, and they don't even see each other. Okay. I said, oh, he wow. I said, Jerry, wow, he need new fans, but. Yeah, I would definitely feel like, I mean, come on, dog. We can just go back to we coach, we play sports. You know how it is. If you got your fans there and their fans ain't there or whatever, you are, because it's going to be a whole different thing because of this COVID. So, right. I mean, is it safe as far as that? I'm going to just keep it real. I don't know nothing about this COVID like deeply. Okay, I know we wear the mask. I know my little league football, my basketball, both got canceled, and I understood why, because we're not the NFL. These kids ain't getting paid, so if something happens, we already know why you can't have it, because the liability and legality. But at the end of the day, I mean, are these players going to die for real? I don't know about all that stuff, and I understand why they don't want to do it because of the spread, but I don't think it's that crazy. Please, I'm not being insensitive because I've had friends get sick from her and things of that nature, but I don't think it's like, oh my God, people are going to die if you sit next to each other. That's just my personal opinion. Right.
You know, and it's why I'm here in Texas. I'm just to let you know, like baseball right now, full swing, brother. Yeah, there'll be little league and everything.
Hooping out here.
It's wide open, you know. I mean, obviously, you have to protect yourself. You have to be good. I mean, the NBA is killing it right now, obviously.
NHL, too.
You know, but the NBA, though, not bigger rosters. They found a place. They bubbled. They're playing the right spots. That's what I love about the Cowboys right now. You got about 90% of the players on the roster. They're the Omni at the Star at Frisco. They're doing their own personal little bubble to stay healthy. I do wonder, as the season goes on, and it's cool. Like we got the 16 player practice squad now and whatnot. But I'm like, man, you get a team that gets busted, right? And you got like your quarterback, your starting left tackle, and a wide receiver. They got to be out for 2 weeks. Tough.
I'm not scared of the COVID, but I just know the protocol that can knock them out. You feel me?
What I mean. Right.
I'm not worried about this damn COVID for real. But it's just the precautions. If somebody gets it, it's just going to throw everything out of whack.
Yeah, they're sitting 2 weeks. I'm telling you right now. Hey, look, I don't care if you're Tom Brady. If you're sick, guess what? You're sitting for 2 weeks, and the Bucs are without Tom Brady for 2 weeks. But with that being said, Spoon, I jumped the gun there. I'm sorry, Spoon. With the fans going to be in Cowboy Stadium and whatnot, does that give us a little bit of advantage? You think that's going to help the home field for us for 8 games?
100%. Listen, I'll tell you right now, you're gonna have the other 31 team fan base finding excuses to hate on the Cowboys now because they can't go to a game or stuff like that. They gotta wait. At the end of the day, it's about how you take care of your staff. How can you take care of your stadium? X, Y, and Z. Jerry Jones is not being lazy to not find a solution to have his fans enjoy the game. Some fans say it's about the money, X, Y, and Z. It's not even. Jerry Jones, he always have done something to make the fans look at the Dallas Cowboys, whether it's on TV, fourth and long TV show, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's the main thing about it. He wants to have his fans there. He was talking about the stuff that they're gonna do a video soon of the stuff they put in the stadium, so that way everybody can feel kind of safe. I know I'm in New York, so like with Governor Cuomo, in gyms and in malls and in stadiums, he wants something where there's machines put in place, not just air conditioning, but machines put in place to basically, if there's any kind of virus, whatever, it just rips it up. I'm not a expert, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah,
he had said in the press conference that he has something like that in the stadium, so fans can do it. End of the day, here's the thing: I know we're Cowboys fans here, and I'm not trying to show up. I'm just gonna say, you know what Jerry Jones is like? He's like, remember high school where you want to be the first one to have those fresh pair of Jordans. Everybody wants. You can walk around there. That's what Jerry Jones. That's what Jerry Jones is with the Cowboys. Like you got your bubble. We had a fourth and long real life TV show. With men, the ratings, we could be 5-11 and still have the best TV rating out of any. He puts all that on there. The same way with the stadium.
We got other teams. And low key, they should do a fourth and long every year for the Cowboys. Bro,
it was beautiful.
They're missing out. Bro, they're missing out. Now, that might be something behind the scenes where the NFL's like, no. Y'all can't do that. But if it's not, bro, they should do that every single spring for sure.
And my thing is,
and shout out to Nelson said no season tickets this year for the Cowboys, but you can opt in for a game. And of course, as Broussard said, our fans better keep them tickets. Don't sell to any away teams because they will be willing to pay. That's right. If we got an advantage with teams with our fans in the building, let's make it count. Go ahead, Spoon.
Yeah. So my whole thing with this is that with Jerry Jones, I have faith in him. I believe in it. Because at the end of the day, he gets things done. He always finds a way that listen. Our fans got to enjoy this. Our players fit our play. He means every word about it. At the end of the day, it's all about action, as he's been doing for his whole career. You know what it is? We could be the worst team by record, but damn, we still look good.
No, yeah. I mean, you already know. Jerry's going to make the money now. I mean, Jerry, look. As he said today, if you ain't paying attention to the Cowboys, he's gonna be like, whoa, come on back over here. Come on back over here. So I mean, you already know. I mean, Jerry's going to make sure you're watching the star. I mean, the Stephen A's of the world and other players and whatnot, they get checks because of the Cowboys. We know how the game goes.
Yeah, so
what it is.
We got any other fan base out of other 31 teams watching, don't be mad at us. What? Write a letter to your owners about improving your stadiums and stuff like that. Get mad at them. Listen, I've been to John and Jess Stadium plenty of times. Let me tell you something. That's a matchbox compared to the Cowboy Stadium. And I'm sorry to say, I don't know where they're gonna put that machine at over there because they pretty much broken down. That's all I gotta say about that.
All right. Feel that. Big game. What do you right now? Let me ask you this question. Right now, where do you do? Are the Cowboys one piece away, or do you think they can contend right now after adding Griffin as we got it scrolling across the bottom? Can we contend right now, or do we need to add one more piece? What do you think?
I mean, they can contend right now. We could contend last year. I mean, coaching could have got us over the hump.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I mean, come on, let's look at it.
It's big facts.
When we see the teams that played last year, there was no dominant team in the NFC. I mean, we saw San Francisco besides them. I mean, Dallas was competing with all of them, but what was killing us, dog? Dumb coaching. Coaching does matter when we're banging with teams or we get behind and we should already be leading teams. I mean, I understand the players. We get that. Players make mistakes. It wasn't the coach that made the fumble or this and that. But when it's the same repetitive mistakes that are happening week in, week out, year in, year out, yeah, that's frustrating. So I believe we had talent. Now, you definitely love to add a piece. I'm not going to say stop and not add a piece. Yes, add a piece if you like, but I think we can rock and roll what they have right now. I don't feel like the safety position is like we're sitting back there like, oh my God, we just ain't gonna win nothing because we got Dixon, Xavier Woods, and them back there. I don't feel that way, but you definitely can improve on it. I still think we can win a championship with them because at the end of the day, it's that front four, it's that front seven. Because as I said, you can have the best corners in the world, but if you ain't got nobody to put pressure on that quarterback or that ball, it don't matter. They ain't covering all day.
Hey, I always go back to the Giants when they beat the Patriots, right? Somebody named me
that NASCAR day.
Yeah, somebody name me the starting corners and safeties from that team, but I bet you can give me that starting front four though,
because they was killing Brady,
bruh. I'm telling you, at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, because always the chicken before the egg, whatever happens. I'm a big believer in pass rush over everything. I am. And look, and I'm a big guy. I was a big guy last year on Donovan Wilson. I actually talked to Brian Broaddus, and he told me even during the season last year, he was like, Knicks, unless there's multiple injuries, you're just not going to see Donovan Wilson. And I'm like, my heart was broken about it. I'm like, bro, come on. Give this young buck a chance. We saw him in preseason. Give him a chance. Linebacker depth bothers me some, but I think after today, I think we're going to play a little bit more of the 4-3, so I feel a little bit better about it. That safety position, man, you go up and down that depth chart, and I'm just like, ugh. Now, something that we've kicked the idea around.
Linebacker, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little. We got to see LVE walk through that door.
That's
still,
what
right?
I need to see you. I need to see you fully healthy. You're playing that Mike position now, or be playing it more.
Yeah.
You're taking more impact on that neck.
And I'm wondering, is he going to get the old green dot on the back of the helmet instead of Jalen? That's going to be another interesting thing because remember, Jalen was doing all the calls last year. So you moved into the middle. Is LVE going to have that green dot and be doing the calls as well? A little bit of adjustment. We'll see what happens there.
LVE
but with that being said, I am too. I'm okay. And I think they should if he's going to be in the middle. Allow Jalen to go play, right? But we've kind of kicked this idea around about maybe a safety that might be available. There was rumblings before the draft. He was So what do you feel about a Malik Hooker?
Listen, I'm a big fan from Ohio State. I know he had key injuries with the Colts, but I'm on board with it. It'd be a nice 1 year. Well, last year his contract. It's pretty much the same thing what happened with the safety from the Raiders that we was always in talks with. There was rumored to. I like Malik Hooker. I'm always believing a fresh new start in a new place will always do you justice. So if you could bring home a Malik Hooker here, that would be something. But then somebody's the odd man out. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm going to trade somebody in the secondary who I don't have plans to be signed.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
we got James back. So Malik Hooker, something that me and Spoon has kicked around. What do you think about Malik Hooker, James?
I like Malik Hooker. I liked him at Ohio State. Obviously, I live out here in Ohio, so I see all Ohio State football. So I'm Texas boy all day, but this is what I get to see, and they always have quality athletes, and the Cowboys like getting Ohio State players. That's always been a favorite of Cowboys, getting Ohio State players.
Right.
I would love to pick. I said, like Spoonie says, the biggest thing has just been the injuries. That's what's kind of been crippling to him. But he's still a young stud. I think he's still on the come up. I don't think he's like trending down. I think as long as he can stay healthy and you get him in a good system, yeah, I definitely would love something like that, especially because he's young. So it's not something that you're getting. He's like 29, 30 years old. This is a young cat, and he's got a good pedigree. And I think you can still work with him and groom him and get him even better.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the hip injuries a little concerning.
Yeah,
but I do kind of side with you. I think he's young enough that I think he can overcome it still. Look, we're talking about Tyron Crawford, right? We talked about Tyron Crawford at the very beginning and how you're like, hey, I'm okay with Tyron now because we got Griffin. Tyron can move around, do whatever, coming off the hip surgery. See, when it comes to Hooker, I think with that being said, if he's available, again, we don't know. It looked like he was available for, the draft and now where it's at. But I mean, if we're looking at kind of casting out maybe a piece you could add, Hooker, I'm with you. I think he can overcome the injuries and be on the come up. I do agree with that, James. Spoony. Oh, I know it's from Bluff City Cowboys chicken. Thank you, Bluff City. Quinn gave us pass rush. Said Quinn gave us pass rush, but he was a major all caps run defense liability. Fair, and but that was the opposite of Tyron Crawford. Great against the run. He's not giving you nothing from the right end at rush at all. But yeah, definitely an upgrade though. I mean, if we're talking about Quinn getting to the quarterback versus Griffin, I do think Griffin is an upgrade right now.
Well, I mean, the thing that we love about here's the thing that I'm excited about the front four too, fellas, and tell me how y'all feel about this. He just Bluff City just mentioned Quinn. We understood that because even in Quinn's career at the Rams, he was never a run defender. He was to get after that quarterback. That's what he had. Yeah. He had that snake-like bend like a Randy Gregory. So I never thought, even when he came over to Dallas, he was going to stop anything on the run or set the edge. He was there to get after that quarterback because that's what we lacked on that pass rush. But now you bring a Griffin. Griffin is known to be a guy that can play that run defense. DeMarcus Lawrence is a great run defender. Gerald McCoy ranked high in run defending as well as post. So you got that front four right there. And even a Tyron Crawford, he's a guy that can play good in that run defense. Yes. So now that makes me feel better that now we don't have guys that just can get after the quarterback. We can really stop you in the run because a lot of times the defense was overhyped. Oh, Dallas is holding people to 86 yards a game or 90 yards a game. That was lies because see, when a team concentrated and really decided to really run the ball on Dallas, they were successful. So that's what needs to stop because too many games that third, fourth quarter, them big gashes up the middle, them plays off tackle were back-breaking. When it was a third down, you need to get off the field. Those were killing Dallas.
Yep. C.J. Anderson, if you will, in the playoffs. Jesus Christ, off the couch. But and again, the other thing too is, I think someone like a Chandler out there in Arizona, former Patriot, right? Great pass rusher. Not great against the run. Great pass rusher. And that's the one thing that down here. Go look at this for loss and look how he played the run. I get it. You want his sack numbers to be more for what he got paid, but I'm like, D-Law is a complete defensive end and what he brings to the table. Right. And then on top of that, the one thing that helps this all the way around, and no fault of Quinn's, as James just talked about, when you got that meat in the middle with the Poe and the McCoy and the Gallimore, and now you can slide Crawford back down in there if you want to. When you got that meat in the middle, that's going to help your run defense, period. You got space eaters to take up one or two. Dontario Poe can take up a center and a guard if he needs to. And now you got a Jalen and you got a LVE coming forward and filling those gaps and stopping that run behind the line, negative 0 yards or maybe just 1 yard. I mean, it makes a difference. This thing has to fit, in a certain way. You can't keep putting round pegs in square holes, and that helps tremendously when you got that beef where the DNs can do, this idea of Marinelli, what he used to say, right? Kill everything on the way to the quarterback. I mean, that's sounds good in theory, but whenever you're zooming past the damn running back with the ball, you're not killing nothing. You killed the left tackle, great, but the guy with the
Them
ball's
same
gone.
stale ass
5, 6, 7
blitzes, like
yards.
everybody knew. Like he was sending a
Up the
blitz.
middle.
Bruh. You seeing 8, 10 people and they all run into each other.
And
They all
nobody
run
gets
into
home.
each other, and these dudes are wide open. I'm like, don't blitz. You know what? I'll be yelling at TV, like, you know what, Rod, just don't blitz. I'm tired of your whack ass blitzes. Everybody know you show it. You show exactly where the frustrating. But you know who else I want to see in his defense? Who had a really good year under McCarthy? Let me see some Joe Thomas. Get some Joe Thomas in there with LVE and Jalen Smith, because Joe Thomas is a physical guy. He's not one of them like super athletic. He's athletic, but he's a guy I think is a thumper. And like I said, he had like a 70 tackle season under Mike McCarthy, and he didn't even start. So I think we've been wanting to see what he's looked like because Sean Lee's been injured. Let's see some of him keep Sean Lee coming off that bench because he finally played 16 games when he hadn't have that pressure starting. Let's see some of that. And Luke Gifford, too.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that, too. Last offseason, during training camp and preseason, LVE and Jalen Smith said Joe Thomas is a starter in this league. That was out of their mouth. That's what they said. So absolutely. And hey, look, man, as long as Sean Lee's healthy, I'm okay with Sean Lee. We don't know how long he'll be healthy for, though.
Cool. Now, Lee, don't let me say nothing about Witten, though. I'm gonna be quiet.
Now, hold on.
I'm not gonna say because I will eat it a lot. I will eat it a lot.
Hold on. You know what, guys? Hold on. Listen to this from Bluff City. Just at the Griffin deal, $6 million for a guy like this is a great contract. Absolutely, $3 million base, and then the rest is roster bonus. So if things happen, you can save $3 million. It's not really going to matter. Said thought he would get $10 million. Makes me wonder what Clowney will go for. Intriguing. Although Clowney had a pretty decent deal from the Browns and chose not to take it, but we'll see what happens. But since go ahead, Spoon. I'll let you get it off, Spoon. Let me pour this drink here. You brought up Witten. I'm gonna pour this drink real quick. We're gonna talk about Witten. We're gonna talk about Witten real quick.
I'll say the win. I'll say
welcome to the after party. Now it's about to be an after party.
Oh yeah, it's about to be a real after party.
According to Ian Rappaport, he says that the Seahawks and the Vikings were was trying to lure Everson Griffin, but he just chose the Cowboys. So the whole time during the whole negotiating, it was all three teams, but he chose the Cowboys and he came. So that's a good sign. He know what he's doing. He know what he's doing. He know. But as far as Jason Witten, I remember I posted something.
Hold on.
Not yet?
Let me. No. I'm gonna set it up. But I do want to talk. But before we are definitely gonna get to Win. Hey, real quick, everybody that's in here, I see we're getting up pretty big right now for us on YouTube. We ain't like the late night hype or nothing. But with that being said,
don't do that.
Hey, late night, I gotta get the plug in for y'all, man.
I appreciate it.
And with that being said, give a like, give a share stuff. Now, the one thing y'all did with the late night hype, and I actually piggybacked and used this and tagged y'all in this was the Greg Iloka comment that set the world on blaze. And let's be clear about that. As we talk about this, I don't think the average fan really understands this part of it, which is something I've been pounding the table for. But for y'all to get this up out of him, I thought was very major. And I'll be remiss to let you get out of here and not speak about that. Was the idea of during decided to slide a little bit, and Chris Richard, right, jumped on him. It's like, what are you doing? He's like, well, hey, you don't want me to, I'm disguising what I'm doing. And then basically, and a lot of it kind of seems why maybe he got up out of there, because he just didn't sit there, be planned, hey, you know what's coming, it is what it is, so on and so forth. James, I would like for you to expound on that a little bit for the viewers that maybe didn't see that or understand what this meant when it came to the Marinelli Chris Richard marriage, if you will.
Well, I think, when we heard it, we was all like, whoa, because he didn't even say that to us off air. Like, we didn't even know, like, that was coming. Like, you know what I'm saying? We was just going with the flow of the show. And then when he said that, it was just confirmed, like, what we had all been feeling, but to really hear it, but to hear him say, I ain't trying to disguise nothing. This is just what we're going to do. It just went with the Garrett theme of, this is what we're going to do. it doesn't matter what they're going to do. We're going to do this. And that was the stubbornness and the lack of the adjustments. And then when you seeing a quarterback saying, oh, you running that 4-3, that cover. Oh, I see that all day. And just pick you apart and go all the way down the field and making it that easy. It was just frustrating. But another thing that really stood out to me was what Alka told us was that how it was a predestined roster, and that'll flow in with Witten. That'll segue, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a predestined roster. No way in hell does George Iloka, who played for the Cincinnati Bengals, who had a pretty good defense when he played, and he was a starting safety there. He went over to Minnesota and blended with those really two good safeties. He comes over to the Cowboys, and he can't beat out a Jeff Heath.
I
mean, you know what I'm saying? And he said,
how about this? No roster spot. Forget beating out Jeff Heath. Not even a roster spot.
You didn't even make it out of training camp,
bro.
And he said it was predestined. He said that's another thing. He said he never felt that he had a chance. He felt like it was always going to be Heath. So it was not that he was not showing up in training camp or the practices. The roster was already predetermined. So you probably weren't going to make it anyway.
Right. And then back to your point of it was always going to be Heath, right? And you segue out of and you kind of segue into that. It's just back to the Witten situation. Well, I'm going to come play 20-25 plays when I come back out of retirement. However, I'm never coming off the field. Wow. I mean, you know, and obviously Witten now is in the all black, right? The bad guy colors, if you will. And we heard, interesting, right? Interesting that we heard, you know, a former teammate in college of Dalton Schultz, who's on our roster, right? Former draft pick from us, from Stanford, still on the team. And Mr. Hooper from the Falcons just signed a deal. He did a thing in Cleveland, right? And he said, hey, I will never be like Witten. Interesting terminology for him to say there. I was like, oh, basically,
Dalton was over there texting him.
Man, bruh. He's like,
I can't get no work over here.
I can't get no burns. Jason Witten over here eating everything. Jason Witten thinks he's dadgum Zeke doing this.
Man,
that's what he thinks.
He did it to every tight end that was there, every type of decent tight end that we had.
Go all the way back. Look, and you look at guys that left here and did well.
Fasano did really well.
Fasano did well. Yeah, Fasano. Mr. Bennett. I mean, we get it. Michael Bennett. Excuse me, not Michael. That's the brother, just retired. Crazy that we have both Bennett brothers play for us, by the way. But Mark Tillis Bennett and we heard the rumblings from him about it, and all we could think about was hindsight, Martellus, hindsight, right? And that's what we kind of took away from you know, that HBO Hard Knocks or whatever. But y'all telling us at the time, like, hey, man, Witten is like, and I'm like, okay, to a certain extent, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, we all played the game on certain levels. And you know, if you slip a little bit, right, you know, you might lose your spot or whatever. But it's like Witten, you was in the prime. Look, and I hold Witten in high regard. I think he's one of the greatest all-around tight ends of all time, right? Yeah. But on the same token, at a certain point, man, you got to partake and give that knowledge to somebody else. And to hear, when I heard that from Hooper, I was like, wow. Because look, as we see the game and we don't see Schultz and we have the right, and then we combine this what we heard on y'all's cast with Greg and whatnot is predetermined and whatnot. It's like, oh well, Schultz has never got a chance at the end of the day because Witten was here. It's kind of how I look at it, and I'm like,
nobody got a chance.
There's now. Right, there you go. I mean, and of course, and Spoonie will tell you when we drafted Jarwin, bro, I was on the phone with Spoonie. I said, bro, if you go dial up OK State footage, he's a more athletic Witten is who he is. So was like, I don't know. I was like, dude, no, I've watched him. Like, dude, he's got the goods, you know. And it's taking him this long to get that shine, you know. It sucks to hear that about Witten to a certain extent, I guess.
I
You
mean,
know,
it
but
sucks. I mean, people think I had some people come. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. People went hard on me when he came back out of retirement. I went and made a video and said, "Hell no, I don't want him back." Oh, people went hard on me. I almost had to shut my page down for the whole day. Like for
all
they,
notifications off.
they went gorilla on me. Like, well, but you know what? I don't. Witten's a Hall of Famer for real. He's. I mean, if he's going in the Ring of Honor, I get that. I don't. I'm not.
Yeah.
No. I never try to take any of that disrespect from that.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, just like if I was a player, you should say that about me too. If I did the same damn thing, and I should accept it. You were selfish these past few years. You know you were. It was time to develop these other guys. You still wanted to stay in the way. You cost the offense. You hurt the offense.
You hurt the
by
offense.
staying on the field when you know Jarwin can make better plays, and I just don't want to hear it. And then you still, let's keep it real. And I'm gonna just say this: I feel like, yeah, you wanted to come back for a championship, but I feel you wanted that touchdown record because you're the all-time leader in reception. You're the all-time leader in yards, receiving yards. That would have been the trifecta to be the all-time leader in touchdowns. And you are right on Dez Bryant's heels. And guess what? Toward the end of the year, I started to notice you get more passes in the red zone near that touchdown. I don't care what anybody says. That ain't no make-believe stuff. These players, you don't think these players look at records? You don't think these players, I'm leaving the Cowboys, I want to be, you don't think they think that? So, and he wanted to come back again this year. He wanted to come back again. McCarthy had to say no. And why else are you coming back? Yeah, maybe you won a championship, but I still think you wanted that record to hold that ball up and be like, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. I love all. No, I mean, all right, you know what? I got a problem. I'm sorry, I do. So if people want to get mad at me over it, I really don't care. It was selfish.
It was.
I just don't like that, man. And guess what? Other players have said he's been selfish way before this. But when I was a fan and wasn't in media, why don't you say that about Witten? But once I got in media and started talking to these people, I'm like, hold on. Too many people saying the same thing about him.
Yeah. I mean, you know, look, go get yours when you're a young man, but at a certain point, you got to turn the.
You got to teach.
Again, you got to teach. And he said, right? He said,
I ain't here to do that.
I'm not here to. No, well, not even that. His body.
Ain't nobody taking my spot.
Yeah. When he came back out of retirement, which I mean, thank God, because he was terrible on Monday Night Football. But that wig though was good. But when he came back, he was like, "Man, hey, look, I'm here to play 25 snaps."
And we knew all that was a damn lie.
I was like, "I'll believe it when I see it," and of course, we never saw it. So it is what it is. Spoonie, Witten. I mean, look, and we call him Go Jack and Witt around here. We call him Go Jack and Witt. We know what it is. But
after the Dalton Schultz comment, and my man from the Browns comment about him, I know the Raiders fans were tuning in and listening to what they're getting. Don't get me wrong, they're getting a Hall of Fame guy, but at the same time, you have a stud tight end in Darren Wall over there.
Right.
So this is now Raiders fans about him about right here. Hold on, excuse me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know what that is, sir. Don't be, I don't know what you popping up. Don't be popping no WAP up here now.
No, hold on a second. Excuse me.
What a pass rusher. Which, by the way, James, WAP, what a pass rusher. That's what we're doing.
Exactly.
What
I got you.
What a pass rusher. What a pass rusher. Hey, Bluff City, I see we'll get that question in just a second, brother. If you got any questions, we're going to keep being with you so long. But if you got any questions, get them up right now, guys. We'll get them up there. We'll get them answered. We'll get up out of here. Go ahead, Spoon.
Okay.
Oh, God, Spoon. What are you doing? Oh God. Here goes Spoon.
Excuse me.
Oh, my God.
This is right here.
I don't know what
this is Raiders fans right here. That's Raiders fans now. Not wanting Jason Witten right now. After hearing about, damn, he's like that. Listen, I know a long time ago when Bill Parcells took over the Cowboys, he told Emmitt Smith, listen, I respect you. You're a Hall of Famer, but I have to get my guys like Troy Hambrick up in here to run this rock. I got to see what I got in these young guys. If you don't mind, no. Look, him being able to cut to me,
I'll die on this hill. Jerry Jones and he taught Bill Parcells to coming in. They did this. Nobody thought that Bill Parcells would come coach for Jerry Jones. I think Parcells literally said, "Hey, then I can do what I want to with the roster, right? Prove it. I'm cutting Emmett." And I think that's what it boiled down to.
Hey, here's the thing. Listen, at the end of the day,
which I'm not saying it wasn't time for Emmett to go or anything of that, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, Bill cutting him was more about him establishing dominance in the front office and what he was going to do.
Well, here's the thing. Cutting him did two things. It opened up the young guys that we can recognize we have. And number two, you're free to go whatever team you want to go to. Listen, at the end of the day, we all Emmitt Smith's fans. But at the same time, your goal is to get your numbers up. Our goal is find the next batch of players to win this game. Now, when he came back, right, the whole deal was 25% of the snaps. Now, big game. I've been arguing with BJ about Blake Jarwin in Texas. When I went to the NFL draft in Texas, we was going back and forth in the parking lot about Blake Jarwin. Like, no, this guy ain't showing nothing. I'm tired. X, Y, and Z. He said, give him time. I went to the game at New York Giants, and I believe the reason why the Giants are not having any fans is because of me, not Kobe. Giants. I wanted that out there. So when I went to the Giant game, when Blake Jarwin had about 4 touchdowns, and Beasley had that nice touchdown at the end, I was there live, and I had called BJ during the game. I was like, I'm gonna give it to you. You got this. And I let all those fans know, damn, this man came from nowhere and went ham. So when you look at games like that with 3 or 4 touchdowns, numbers, you had him in fantasy, you were excited for the fantasy playoff, you picked them up, you should be getting excited for the next season coming up. So when they announce he's coming back, we're like, oh, wait a minute now. I hope that this doesn't interfere in Blake Jarwin's growth.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it went from, I see that. I mean, we was like, where's Blake at? All we saw was Witten. And the whole thing is, yes, Witten made some key catches, but was he the same guy? No. When we saw Blake Jarwin getting that New Orleans Saints game, you saw him stretch the field. He gave us a shot, which, again, Witten ain't that type of guy no more. My thing was this, and Garrett, with his boneheaded clapping lies, came out and said, it's time to start putting guys in who fit in this roster. I'm like, what the hell? You're gonna do this now toward the 3 games left in the season? Yeah. You're gonna bench Witten at the Eagles game? Like, let's be real. End of the day, you messed up. End of the day, you don't put your hangout partners on the job. You put the best guys available. Who is the best guy? And that's what messed up about this Cowboys team last year. Like Big James said, there was no good direction from the head coach and the coaching staff. It was terrible. It was disgusting. Witten should never had those that many times playing the game. It should be Blake Jarwin. And now you're gonna see this.
And there's certain guys out there in scouts and otherwise that say that Blake Jarwin is somewhere along the lines of George Kittle. So, I mean, we'll see. It's going to be hard for him to get the rock with everything that we got on offense, but we'll see. But I do want to get the bluff here real quick. Says, don't know if you guys talked about this, but whose spot is Griffin taking?
I mean, it had to be Crawford because to me, if we didn't have Griffin, Tyron Crawford is the starting right end. I don't believe Aldon Smith is coming in unless he has ridiculous. And I don't want Aldon Smith to come right in and do that. I want to work him in slowly because you don't have to force him in. Work him in slowly. So I feel like it'd have been Crawford. So I feel like they still maybe maybe they feel good about the hit, but still you still want to have somebody that's going to be right there. So I'm starting Griffin. Damn what y'all feel, not y'all, but I'm saying damn what y'all feel about Tyrone Crawford's staff. Get Griffin in there, let him do work, and then mix Crawford around there, dog, because at the end of the day, this is probably last year Crawford anyway.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it was going to be a toss-up between Crawford or Aldon Smith.
Baby. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Get it. but again, I think it was between those two, only because Aldon, the D-line coach, that's Aldon's coach. So it was a coin flip. I think if we had preseason, I think Allen had a bigger chance.
I think Blood City said, "Who's going to get cut now?"
I think it's Dorvis Armstrong.
You think so?
Oh, we'll get there. Hold on.
I would try to trade him.
Yeah, I would try to trade him before anything, but
I would not cut. I'm trying to trade him. If I'm dangling him and see who will bite because he's a third-year player. I think he still has some upside. Dangle him.
Right. No, I totally agree. Don't try to let a guy that free. Try to get something for him at least. Something out of debt where you can use on the roster. That's what I would do. A linebacker, maybe somebody in the secondary. But that's the INR right there between him or Joe Jackson.
I like Joe Jackson, man.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm a fan of him too.
I like him.
Well, I'm gonna throw it out there. And if Mendoza's here, he's gonna hate what to say. And I'm sorry, Mendoza. I am definitely a hashtag Team Jelks guy. I love Jalen Jelks. I think he's just until a 2.0 to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, if we're looking up and down the roster, look, no matter how much I love Jalen Jelks, at the end of the day, what they're trying to do defensively, I don't think you get rid of a Dorrance Armstrong. I'm sorry. I don't think I get rid of a Joe Jackson even at this point. I think if you go down and who's had impact and snaps and everything else, man, I don't want to see Jalen Jelks leave the building, but again,
I mean, you can still put him on the practice squad, possibly.
Right. Right.
If somebody, somebody might claim him.
But
I don't think Jelks would get cut only because
it's going to be if there's a cut, it's a Garrett guy. Period. It's going to be a Garrett guy. I mean, whoever gets cut is going to be a Garrett guy. That was from the last regime. I get it that Dorrance was and that what you call it was. But I'm talking about the projects, and we're talking about the guys that were drafted late and there were projects per se and not had snaps in the league that much. I probably I think we got room jokes there. I believe in and look, hey, there was another Jackson from the same school that we put in the practice squad that Detroit took, right? Off of our practice squad. And
the Patriots got him.
And what they just flipped him for a damn pick.
Michael Jackson.
Yep.
How much time you got left?
Oh, me? I got about 10 minutes. Boo thing cooked up some good food, so she can come back here looking at me.
There we go. Okay. Not a problem. Not a problem.
Hold
on. That's why I got to ask.
She was like looking at me like,
that's why I got to ask. That's why I got to ask. So I can make sure I ask the right question here. I hear her left in the background too. I know it must be good. It must be good. But with that being said, right now, I know we had our first true practice. Give me your starting secondary. Project that out for me, big game. Who's your start? Look, I want in no particular order. Three quarterbacks, 2 safeties. Right now, as we sit, who do you got?
Okay, I'm gonna go with Daryl Worley as one corner. I think, I'm looking at this safety position. But I think Awuzie goes back at that starting other corner. And for the slot, I want Jordan Lewis, but I'm gonna say Anthony Brown's gonna start just because the money and he'll get the first dibs. But I think Lord J. Lou should be there. If I'm looking at my safeties, HaHa Dix, and then I think by default Woods. But I feel like they want to see something else besides Woods. I feel like, Woods excited me when they first drafted him. I've been on the Woods train for like 3 years, man. But I just feel like year 4, this is what you are. I just don't feel like you're going to be. And the thing that frustrates me about Woods is like the last couple of years he's been saying, I'm tired of people going after other people. I feel disrespected. I'm about to show it. But you had your opportunity to show it, and you ain't been showing it. So now I'm thinking this is just who you are. So I want to see other people now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, do you, but okay, but do you, I mean, yeah, Spoonie's all the way. Spoonie hates Woods, so Spoonie hates Woods.
My homie told me and Boss Cowboys did a show, and he brought up Daryl Worley because Worley plays safety over at Oakland. He was missing, he played, and we had Worley on the show. And when we was talking to him off air, when we talked to him on air, one of the things that he was very proud of was that he was versatile. And Worley's been a starter since he's been in the league. It's not like he's been a bench player. He's been a starter pretty much his whole career. And he said he didn't mind playing safety, and they didn't have a certain spot at the Raiders. They were flipping them. He was playing left corner, he's playing right corner, he said they were flipping them everywhere. So me and Boss was saying like he wouldn't mind seeing Worley soon at safety, and I wouldn't mind either because Worley doesn't have all world speed. He's a very physical corner, and he's a big corner. He's not a little guy. And he's a physical type, and he can trail with those tight ends. So he was like, I'd like to see him and HaHa as safety, and him go down in the box and be HaHa be more the freak because you don't want to see HaHa tackling. So I was looking at that like that ain't a bad thing neither.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: do we think the change in the scheme helps Woods though? That's kind of my thing. I think maybe Woods was out of scheme some.
BJ, stop that.
Now, come on now.
Stop it, BJ. That man was missing, taking badass angles, badass angles, trying to lay the boom on somebody without wrapping up, dropping interceptions.
Coaching.
Coaching. I always say this.
Hey,
coaching don't got nothing to do with them hands dropping 3 interceptions.
Listen, I always say this.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Low key as far as we talk about coverage, Brown was better in coverage than J. Lou. J. Lou just happened to get a couple of extra interceptions. Low key.
Well, who you want, J. Lou or Brown?
No, I don't think.
What?
Go ahead.
Jordan Lewis not a starting corner. He's a starting corner.
Oh, you want him outside?
He's never played. Listen. I keep saying it. If you want to look at Jordan Lewis' best game as a starting corner, against his rookie year against the Denver Broncos, we got blowout against the Marius Thomas and Harrison boys. He was doing his job. That was the one headline they saying they made it lost the game by a blowout. But these young cornerbacks they had, they probably got the future. He would have been a first round pick wasn't for that Michigan. He never played slot. He's a
outside corner.
Right, he's a starting corner, but they don't want to look because they're looking at his side. But he got long arms. The guy can play corner.
He does. I mean, he does.
We all play football. What did we learn first? How to tackle or how to scheme? We learn how to tackle. I'm sorry, I don't care what scheming you in.
And he's competitive, man. He competes more than Anthony Brown. Like he competes. Like when we had Brian Broaddus on the show, and just talking to a lot of the I mean, we asked a lot of the people that we've had on the shows about Jordan Lewis, and the main thing they echo is like we all echo. He competes, and because he competes and he don't back down and he's not scared, that's the kind of corner you want on your team. And Anthony Brown is more this dude. Anthony Brown is more cerebral, and Woods are more like quiet. Like they not the. I need people that are. If you play corner, I play corner. I play receiver and corner. You need to be aggressive, and you got to have a certain mindset when you play corner. And if you're not that aggressive person and you play in corner, it's going to be a long day for you.
Listen,
that's fair.
He worked out with Jamal Adams this summer. I hope he really picked his mind on this safety. Because at the end of the day, like I said, no disrespect to the man right now. You NFL pro guy. I saw he was on first take and all that stuff. He took new scheme, everything. End of the day, bro, you missing tackles in front of you.
That's
the
fair.
scheme don't show you how to miss tackles. That's about it.
The one thing I will say is this. It's going to be very intriguing to see what the starting secondary is going to be if nothing else is added, period. That's going to be good stuff. But I think it's a good stopping spot for us. As always, when we have a guest on here, big game, we roll out the red carpet for you. By all means, tell the people where to find you, where to look you up, the whole nine. Go and get that plug in, sir.
Well, first of all, I want to thank y'all very much. I had a great time. I have been wanting to do a show with you guys for a very long time. I've been watching y'all from afar. I got much respect for what you guys do. I love what you guys do. So big salutes to y'all. So thank you again for letting me grace y'all's platform. Thank you very much. But you can check me out on Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James, my page on Facebook. I'm doing like kind of dual, both of the pages, trying to open up the door more for my Big Game James page. So if you want to check that out on Facebook, it's on there. Like I said, Silver and Blue Nation, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, we go hard, and we got the late night hype that goes on every Tuesday, and we just doing our thing, trying to bring the realest cowboy stuff, no punches, and just kick it. And if you want to come listen to real stuff like you got over here, come over there and holler at Silver and Blue Nation, because we're gonna say it whether you like it or not.
that part. And also, if you follow him on Facebook, you might see some basketball games trying to get his son right.
Oh yeah,
I saw you put in that work.
Hey dog, he be trying to talk all that trash, man, because he got that height on me now. He almost 6'5", so he feeling real smelly about himself.
Yeah.
So he walked past me one day and he was like, "Man, you can't touch me, Dad." So I was like, "All right, I'm in the gym." I got right in the gym right after that. I said, "Hey, let's go hoop." Yeah, guess what? You got one game because I ain't got no wind. You feel me? I ain't out there training every day. I ain't got no win, but I still beat you. And I told you, once I get my win, you're not going to score more than 5 points.
Got him. I saw it.
Because let me tell you what he do. See, he not smart. That's why I'm saying you got to be smart when you play this game. I'm a smart basketball player. That's one of the things. When the athletic ability go down a little bit, you got that mind. So really, he could really beat me because he got the size and he got long arms like me. But see, he live and die by that jump shot. He always want to be pretty on that jump shot. If he would kept going to the hole, being aggressive, if he missed a shot, go get his rebound, you would have wore the old man out and beat me. But see, I know you ain't like that, so I'm taking advantage.
Hey, look, the old man hustle game is strong. They don't understand,
man. And that grown man strength, you ain't ready for it.
Yeah. Let me give you that backup real quick.
You feel me? Ain't ready for grown man strength, dog. BJ, they don't know about that yet.
They will. Spoony, tell the people where to find you, Spoon.
Oh, listen, Spoony881 on Twitter. I'm always at Star Game. I want to share a little story with Big Game James on Twitter. When I followed them, I had posted something about Jason Witten in the Raiders.
I know. I think that's what we got cool. That's what me and you got cool.
And when I posted that, I said, "Son, he came on." Well, I was like, "Oh my!" I was like, "Oh snap!"
That was our breaking bread right there.
Yeah, it was.
He posted that Jason Witten said, "This looks weird." I said, "Oh hell, it don't."
Hey man, we appreciate you rocking with us. You never know we're gonna have on. We appreciate Big Game James for sliding through and coming in. Man, we've been trying to link up for a long time, man. It was good to see you, brother. Enjoy cooking. I know Booth ain't got some food cooked up. I need you to inbox me a pic of that so I can live by.
Oh, she already took a pic, so you go get it. She already showed it over to me.
Oh, good, done got him. With that being said, obviously you're tuned into the Star Gang YouTube page. We do the after party. We have our regular shows typically Tuesday. We went Wednesday because of the press conferences to get there. And hey, it worked out. Everson Griffin, right? So absolutely, go ahead, hit that sub, hit the notification bell. If you don't know us on Facebook and you happen to have Facebook, by all means, hit Star Gang. We got a page. We got a group, man. Like and follow the page. By all means, jump into the group as well. And you can find me, your guy, Nix, underscores in between the NIX. On Twitter as well. Man, we appreciate the plate on deck.
Yeah, I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? Got the mashed potatoes, you know what I'm saying, with the broccoli with cheese, with the two big pork chops, and they crunchy pork chops. I don't do that soft stuff. We crunchy over here. Feel me? So you know what I'm saying? Gonna smash this real quick. Got my burr. And I got something else too.
Oh, hey, real quick. Better make them kind of plates you better keep your ass in the gym. I feel you. Hey.